It's just a toxic waste pool of people trying to fight to get to the top of the mountain to be, look at me, show me, view me. So there has to be one option would be there has to be one singular event that happens that is such an impact on us that the government or just any type of government agency has to say, okay, because of this event, we need to make a change right away. I will give you $500 million if we, scan your face, use your likes, use your voice, and we have a lock on you as your character for the end of time. And no matter what, how much laws, how much marketing you put into advertising, it is the parent responsibility. But friendship platforms, this is a really untapped market.
Meet Nevin Rahm, founder of Social Load, an AI-powered friendship platform built to fight loneliness by removing profiles, photos, and performance from social media. After 10 years in startups and influencer growth, he's building what he believes the internet forgot: real human connection. Nevin, welcome to the show.
Welcome to another episode of The Executive Edge. I'm your host, Camille Holmes, and today's guest we have Nevin Rahm, founder of
So you got it the first time.
Socialo,
Yeah, there
an
you go.
AI-powered friendship platform built on a simple premise: remove profiles, photos, and performance, and match people based on genuine shared interest. After a decade in startups, including growing Instagram accounts through influencer partnerships, Nevin stepped away to build something he believes social media failed to deliver: real connection. Nevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for the little intro. I need to have some applause, though.
Somewhere in the
Got to boost my
background,
ego.
someone hears me. Yeah. But yeah, Nevin, with my guests, I always like to dive deep into their origin story. So you spent 10 years in startups, and we talked about you scaling the influencer accounts to influencer partnerships. But when did you realize the system you were helping grow might actually be contributing to the problem you wanted to solve?
It's based personally the reason how I knew that because when I was working in startups for 10 years, most of my work affiliated with social media marketing and advertising. So when you spend a lot of time in that industry, you start to realize what the flaws are. Just like you spend enough time in something, you will find what the issues are. And that was something that I realized a decent amount of time into it, down like there's a lot of flaws what's going on with social media and just the way that it's being portrayed as. I mean, we grew up with the idea, and kids are still grew up with the idea where like social media is a form to connect everyone together and have this type of uniformity where everyone can just be themselves. That, unfortunately, in my point of view, and to be justified, and probably a lot of people can agree, that's no longer the case. It's become more like a good example would be like if you are driving on a highway and you see those billboards. It's basically an online billboard campaign. It's just marketing. It's just look at me, see me, view me. And I was just looking at this and I just realized this little rainbow of hope making friends is like this is not it. It's just a toxic waste pool of people trying to fight to get to the top of the mountain to be, look at me, show me, view me. So you look at that, and then also another important thing is my personal experiences of making friends, dealing with loneliness and isolation in that world. When you add those up, it was like a light bulb just hit the head. If no one else is making this, well, why not I just try? And hence social became to be.
Okay. All right. Was Socialo an idea you've been sitting on for years, or did leaving your previous company create that space to build it?
Oh, I had this idea for years. A lot. It was another idea. It was named after another thing, and then I just kept jumping on. I think the biggest reason why it took some time was I can be truthful, it's the sense of fear of starting a company and launching that up. And when you have the purity of the idea, it will always be that vision of what you want perfection to be. And once you come to reality of it, it's kind of like that's where fear comes in, where it's like, well, everything I thought I wanted to happen did not happen type of thing. So it took a while to really just man up and say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of what's going on, and I knew it was going to get worse. And then around 2018, I 2019 around there, I was basically saying, all right, I'm gonna fully commit to this and go to the end of the line. So yeah, it definitely does take that type of fear before you realize you got to just overcome it and just say, I got to jump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about some of your first clients and early validation. Social Load removes usernames, avatars, and public validation, right? Which is the opposite of what social platforms optimize for, right? Who were the first people that said, yes, I'd use this? And what convinced them?
So most people in who say yes to us are usually young adults between the ages of 18 to 25. We do have a wait list come up on our platform, so we are looking at right now we're actually developing it. But right now the audience that we've been targeting and more importantly have been reaching out to us specifically are young adults, 18 to 25-year olds. There is definitely a benefit for people who are over 50 use this platform for sure. Because obviously when you're more older, your chances of making real friends kind of isolates it. So we do understand that market, but we really want to focus on people who right now are pretty tech savvy. So we don't have to kind of guide everyone to it. It's a mobile app. So obviously, the older you get, the less tech zone you're kind of really into. So that's kind of what people have been more drowning for, the 18 to 25, and we're kind of moving up to 30-year-old people who want to deal with the fact that the truth is, the world's a lonely place, and when you don't really have friends or your friends drift away because of families, jobs, everyone's obligations, the ability to make a real friend, yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. I believe on the World Health Organization, this is top of my head, I read about it, but it said over 60% of adults under 35 have stated that they felt a form of loneliness of
Oh, wow.
finding real friendships. And I
Big
don't,
number.
I believe that's true. Loneliness is one of those things where it's not something that there's no like, it's not like a bruise, you injure yourself, you can see it there. It's definitely a big mental health issue that most people face. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter if you're famous or nobody. If you don't have a real friendship with someone on something you connect to and actually share thoughts and ideas and actually genuinely want to be with someone in company, it definitely makes life very bleak, and it's something that, unfortunately, again, just I wanted to create this. I didn't personally. I didn't want to create this platform. I had to because there was nothing else. No platform was doing it out there. Everything here is either unfortunately sexualizing it.
Yeah.
You're seeing these social media things where you have girls that are in very short bikinis, you have guys in six-pack abs and Ferrari and driving a Ferrari, creating this illusion that this is quote what life is. I mean,
Right.
that's not what it is at all. We all know that. Most
Yeah.
people like myself do a 9 to 5 job. Why are we marketing this? And obviously, it's able to draw money in. And unfortunately, that also increases depression and isolation because you don't see value in yourself. And that's why we're like here, social, we're like, you know what? Yeah, we got to remove all this and just focus on let's just have normal conversations with people that have the same interests as you and then actually make real friends that way rather than a qualification round.
And to your point, it's funny because when you look at social media, what it's turned into, the whole point of it was to like bring people together, to
Hmm.
remedy the whole loneliness thing, right? But like you were talking about, you see the bikinis, the six pack, the Ferrari. You look in, it's like this mini portal into somebody else's life, and most of the time it has the adverse effect. And you look at it, and you end up by the time you're done scrolling, you're more lonely than what you were before you started scrolling.
You get more depressed.
You
You
get
see those
more
people
depressed.
live their lives. They're doing incredible things or they're surrounded by attractive people, and you're like, well, here I am sitting on my bed with a bag of McDonald's and Wendy's, looking at myself and saying, wow, I need to eat more to forget about this. That's
Yeah.
just the truth. And
Mhm.
it's it sucks. It's ironic though, because we live in this world where we can connect with anyone throughout the world within a microsecond. We just don't know anyone on the other side of the world to connect to. There's
Yeah.
no platform. And if a guy connect, I mean, in this day and age, if someone from Australia just connects with me, the first question I ask is, "Who the heck is this?" And the second thought is, "This has to be a spam. This has to be a scam. This has to be some guy. Show me your ID or something like that." And it's like, bro, I'm not doing any of that stuff. So, our style is kind of like to give clarity on how the workout is. you mark in on our platform, you mark interests that you like. We all have interests and hobbies, whatever they may be. And then you start liking article images and videos that are affiliated to that. Now, these articles, images, and videos come from third-party API systems. So basically, third-party sites. We just extract them, put them on the platform. So you, as a user, can mark what type of topics that you like, and more importantly, uh, it justifies how much interest you have in that topic. So a good example would be if you have an interest in basketball, but not really, you won't be, we don't want to make the indication that you instantly love all about basketball. But if you like basketball and start marking articles, images, and videos affiliated to basketball, our AI system indicates that, hey, you actually like this a lot. So we're going to find someone who also has that same higher percentage of it. And then you just connect. Again, there's no usernames, there's no avatar images, there's no identification whatsoever. You just basically text conversation with one another to see if you have a good conversation. And all you know is you both have the same interest. That's it. And then basically at the end of it, it's like a trial period. At the end of that, you basically decide if you want to become friends or not. And if one says yes and one says no, part ways. Both have to say yes. And when they do, you now have a real authentic friendship. And that's kind of the gist of it. You just go on to the next.
Nice. Very pure. That's what it's a very pure interaction, which is very
Oh yeah.
hard to capture in the online space. So I think that's
And it's
cool,
just weird
especially
because
yeah.
there's everyone is like, because there were competitors who tried something similar. There was one platform I don't remember, but it went out of business because they did something similar to X, where it was uh, a public forum, speak your mind, but everyone is anonymous. You can see where this happens
Mm,
is that when you
mm,
have a whole group
mm,
of people being anonymous,
mm.
everyone's just they start being vulgar, they
Oh
start
yeah,
doing profanity, they just kind of go all range because there's no restrictions. So the idea for us is like we can't do that. So we had the idea of let's just do a one-on-one interaction because that's the point. Your goal is to make a real friendship, not a group friends. I mean, you go on Meta, for example, you see those Meta group pages, you're just a number in a group. You Reddit's anonymous, but you don't have any interactions with it. There are platforms like Bumble, BFF. Again, you are showing pictures of yourself. You're trying to qualify yourself. Come on. Why don't you just have the ability to talk with someone first before you actually show who you really are, what you look like, what your name is? Because as soon as we put something up, we create a point of view of the other person. Right now, you're looking at me as
right,
and have a point of view. I have a point of view at you, which is
right.
really bad, by the way.
Oh
I'm
no,
joking. Yeah, it was there. I had to take it, but
that was good.
but the point is that we all do this. It's not like we're not planning. Oh, I'm not gonna think. No, it's just what our
Right,
brain does. Our brain tries to analyze
right,
everything. So
right,
if we remove that concept entirely, then you actually get to know the person more. So when they reveal who they are, you already have a personal connection with them. So you won't be judgmental based off the first interaction of a picture or a name or whatever it may be. So that's kind of the
right.
rundown for everything.
Nice. Now, what objection do you hear most when explaining anonymous interest based?
What do you mean, a problem, you think?
What are some
Oh.
things like what are some objections or people what are some pushback people may have given you
Oh man, the
about
biggest one is everyone thinks it's the social media platform. Oh man, that
mm,
sucks because it's not. It's a friendship platform. And
mm,
it's a new market. There are social media platforms which everyone knows. Instagram, Meta, which are the same company, TikTok, I mean, smaller ones, LinkedIn, and all those stuff. It's just, it's open, go crazy. We all know what they are. There are dating platforms, Tinder, Bumble, eHarmony, and 3 gazillion other ones out there where you're just trying to find a compatible mate in your area. But friendship platforms, this is a really untapped market. So it's it's very difficult to get people's mindset to know that there is a new area of this industry that really no one has heard of, and it's the friendship market. So a lot, that's the biggest emphasis that we have trouble, and we're working hard on it to make sure is that we are not a social media platform. We're not a dating platform. We're a friendship platform. We're not here to hope that you can find a girlfriend or boyfriend. We're not the type of company for that. We're not the
right,
type of
right,
company if you want to speak your mind and hope everyone's following, listening. We're not a type of company for that. What we are is a company that will help people like yourself if you're lonely and you have no really close friends and start growing your connections on a global aspect rather than going instead of going to door and saying you want to be my friend, we have our platform saying, hey, listen, would it be cool to actually make a friend with someone in London because you have the same interest in ice skating, or have someone in New Zealand connect with someone in North Dakota because they have the same interest in sailing? There's no platform that does that. So it definitely the biggest issue for us is making people realize that, hey, if you look over this valley, there's this untapped land called friendship. So for us, it's for that. But it's a interesting problem because our
Yeah,
competitors are not really that efficient or not growing, and no one really has tapped it. But with the help of AI kind of deteriorating that type of communication, which is a whole discussion we could talk about, the idea of making real friendships is become a lot more vital
yeah.
in basically in the world that we're in right now.
This is so funny because I was on LinkedIn the other day and I saw this post. I came across this post and they were talking about the rise of AI and the whole thing about
Mhm.
AI. It's going to take your job and this, that, and the
Yeah.
third, and how it's polluting human connection and stuff like that. And this, I forgot the name of the profile, but he had an interesting take. He said, "Well, now, if you look at like if you project all the way to 2030, the ability to have human connections is going to become such an invaluable skill. Is you're pretty much going to be indispensable because AI is just going to do this massive takeover for a lot of tasks you can execute on, right?" And I'm like, well, yeah, that kind of sounds like well, yeah, duh. I guess that makes sense, but it's like you don't really when I really sat down and thought about it. Let me. He has a point here because of the way AI has really grown and developed, like, and it's just happening so fast. So you add that
Mhm.
with the compounded effect of social media and what it's turned into, and actually making people more lonely. Platforms like this do have a place, right? Because it's like connection is becoming less and less and less and less of a thing, and it's just it's crazy how fast shift is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like I see AI just like a brush fire, and everything in front of it is nothing but dry weeds. And as a person, and if
Yeah,
you're like a fireman and you're looking at that, how the heck am I able to contain this? And the truth is, you
yeah,
just can't.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I said this a lot, and I still believe it, but it's like you have to adapt or die type of thing. And
basically. Yeah,
AI is here to stay. It is gonna take a lot of jobs, more than we can anticipate. I think there's two things that need to happen for the have restrictions. There has to be one option would be there has to be one singular event that happens that is such an impact on us that the government or just any type of government agency has to say, okay, because of this event, we need to make a change right away. The second option is AI gets so advanced, continuously growing, that jobs start depleting so much that eventually, over time, that graph just keeps falling to the point the government's like, all right, we got to make changes before it's too late. Either way, there's no upside with it. Again, I don't want to be so against AI, because that makes me sound like a hypocrite
yeah,
because there is
yeah.
so much benefit as well. When I made
100%.
social,
Yeah.
I mean, like one of the biggest things for me is just like when you're doing a pre-startup company and becoming a licensee corp, a lot of stuff, you don't really know about how do I file for taxes, what's the structure for that, franchise taxes, everything like that. I literally just type in AI and it'll tell me everything how to do it rather than going and paying $1,200, even like $3,000 for a consultant to help me out. Same thing for filing for accounting or
Yeah.
getting ideas of like how will we implement this design or for coding. So there is a lot of benefit for AI every way. It's just the truth is you got to take the good and the bad. And again, it
Mhm.
has to go back to that same thing. You have to adapt or die. If you're not going to look at the industry and think, okay, I need to figure out to get out of it, instead of just yelling and saying, this is wrong, we need to help everyone, then those who are yelling are just going to be silent pretty soon. It's just because it's cheaper,
Yeah,
man. That's just really in a nutshell. All
yeah,
comes down to money. Why should I waste my time to get a project to someone that might take a week to get back, cost quadruple the amount, and I can just let an AI platform, which most of them are decently free, that can give me the answer in maybe 3 seconds. So it
yeah,
is definitely like a double-edged
100%.
sword type of scenario, and it's just kind of one of those
Yeah,
things where it's like, what will happen? That is the biggest thing I'm curious about because it's a benefit,
yeah,
but it's also like there's a lot of drawback happening.
yeah.
And again, I mean,
And I
like when
and
you Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, there's no denying the benefits of AI. It's funny, I joke about this, but it's actually true. ChatGPT may know me more. He may know me. The only person who knows me, the only one who knows me better than ChatGPT at this point is God. Because I talk to ChatGPT about everything. And other than ChatGPT, other tools instantly. I mean, you can do so much with AI. And
Man, you
I've
could do a
leveraged
lot.
it. Yes, you can do so much with it. And the biggest thing is
At this
what you said,
time,
like,
yeah, at this time, the video platform Dance 2 is about to come out probably in a day. If you know what that is. Basically it's a
the
video
reason,
movies.
oh, bro,
Oh
it's
man,
crazy. It's
that's
crazy.
insane, man.
It's
To
crazy.
see Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt fight on a top
That
of the
was
building.
so
It
crazy.
was it's just it was so realistic, man.
Yes,
You can't
yes.
your brain doesn't, I mean, there's basically a line to us until a point that we don't know what's real and what's fake. And
Man,
right
it's
now
crazy.
that
Yeah.
just crossed over that zone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely worried about that because it's allowing production companies to say it's taking away the creativity for sure. My other
Mhm.
concern is that let's say you get like a B tier, C tier actor, actress, and she grow either they get a very bad injury or they going beyond age of like 80 or 90, and they're like, a company might just reach out to them and say, hey, listen, you give us, we'll give you $500 million if we scan your face, use your likes, use your voice, and we have a lock on you as your character for the end of time. And when you're that old or you're that severe injured, you might like, well, $500 million is not a bad price, and most
Yeah,
people will
right.
probably sign it. And therefore, you know
Most
it,
people.
you have an actor and actress that you don't have to pay any royalties for. You don't have to pay anything. You can have complete freedom of the choice for a company and just make films that way. It saves you money, not just only on the salary, but insurance and everything like that. And that's concerning because that actually did happen. There is a YouTube guy, I do not remember his name, but an AI company, I believe, bought his likes, his profile, everything of his identity for, I think, half
Oh, the
a
TikTok
billion.
guy.
Yeah, $500 million, I think. And
Yeah,
he
it
just
was
sold it
something.
away. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but the point is, I mean, the guy made a choice. I mean, nothing against the guy. I mean, if the opportunity is like, hey, listen, $500 million, sure, why not? But that does bring up that concern that once AI gets a lot more cheaper, it's just going to start just buying people and seeing them as just products and basically putting people on shelves like, oh, all right, this movie we're going to put Tom
Woo.
Hanks and then we're going to put Harrison Ford and then they're going to be fighting a space battle and they're all going to look, let's say, 20 to 30 years old. Let's make a film. And it's
Crazy.
like, well, I mean, you can
Crazy.
see, I mean, like there is some magic goes away when you make those type of AI videos because for me, when I see them, they're really cool. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but for me, like it's kind of like Diet Coke.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just a
Right.
flatland of it, and
Hmm.
I could say, "Oh, it'll never happen," but it's like, listen, we're in this stage. Like what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, would you expect to see these videos be this insanely creative? Who would know that 12 months from now, you could be able to create another video that even has that raw emotion and creativity that people do? So. It, man, dude, it's insane. It's insane.
No, it is. It's, man, I'm telling you, man, when I first saw it for the first time, I was like, there's no way. There was one video, it was like the fight we all waiting for, Jet Li versus Jackie Chan. And I was
Uh,
like, what the heck? I was like, this looks too, it was freaky. It freaked me out in a good way. In a good way. Because
oh, it's
I
fun.
do
Don't
think
get me
it's
wrong.
really cool. It is. It's super fun. But yeah, you're all right. Part of the thing about movies is, and I'm not a big movie buff, but the movies that I do like, I really like. And one of the reasons why I like the movies I like, for instance, The Dark Knight, probably my favorite movie of all time. The
Oh
reason
man,
why, right? The reason why I like that film so much is because from the beginning of the movie up until the very end, it's just peak. It's just peak. It's the engagement. Christian Bale is
um,
Batman, and Heath Ledger is
Heath
the
Ledger
Joker.
too.
Yeah, like they're so committed and it's so authentic. It's just so good.
I- I'll I'll
You
tell you
know?
something funny. So when The Dark Knight was about to come out, Best Buy, and I've seen like other electronics. When you go to a Best Buy store, which are pretty much running out of business anyway, they have displays of their plasma TVs, and they usually put some music video or something like this. I do remember this moment. It's a Friday night. I'm out there with my parents. I'm still a kid, and we're going to the Best Buy, and we walk in. They're showing the display, the plasma TVs, and in comes this. You assume a trailer for The Dark Knight. What they did is, I didn't know, but I guess they got the rights to play the first intro of that scene, the bank robbery scene, which is,
Oh,
for people who don't
snap.
know,
Yeah.
that is the beginning. It's like the start of the whole entire film. So it's not telling you
Yes.
anything. But I do remember this is that I know that probably bank robbery scene has been played 100 times in that in that store. And I remember we sat there and were watching it, and suddenly you got a mass of like 30 people just coming, and they all just stopped and watched this bank robbery scene. It went all
Oh,
the way
snap.
to when the bus left the bank. And you kind of stop and you look around, and you're like seeing, wow, you knew this was going to be such a big film when you have
Yeah.
30 or 40 just random people watching it on a Best Buy plasma television that probably has been running the same trailer or same clips over and over again. But one thing I do love about that film is the idea of using very limited of special effects at that time. They did
Yes,
that
exactly.
realism. So, I mean, I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes of them. They actually did flip that truck, and there's a great documentary behind that of
Oh,
how they
I'm
actually did it.
I'm from the city it was filmed
Oh
at. So
man, did you see
I
any
was
of that
there when
stuff?
they were filming it. Yeah,
Oh man.
I was there.
Well, do you know, like, did you had any idea what type of scenes they were filming, or you just saw a lot of activity?
Because when they're doing big production sets, they kind of
Yeah,
block
I was
things
just,
off and stuff like
yeah.
that. But I remember walking because that scene with the truck that's on the Chicago Stock Exchange, and my
Uh,
mom owned a food truck, and we used to park there. So I remember like showing up, and it's just like, what's going on here? And it's like they were filming the movie, and it was just crazy. It was so crazy. I didn't get that close because I couldn't, but
obviously, yeah.
it was just crazy to see that on the big screen. And I'm like, I know that street. I remember being there when they were doing that. It's crazy. It's
It's
super
interesting
crazy.
because that was in 2008. Obviously, that was when really cinematography and IMAX I believe 2008 was the peak of films because Dark Knight, yeah, No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood at that time too.
Mhm.
Phenomenal films. But going back to what AI has done now is that you have companies that are can produce films while even going to locations. Disney, for example, a great podcaster. I don't remember his name top of my head. I think that was Theo was his name. He's in UK. He just gave a statistic and he found out. And he told me was that Disney is investing in like 1.2 to 1.3 billion dollars to OpenAI to use
Oh, wow.
the integrations. There's also talks that what they're doing is they're reaching out to the actors and actresses who specifically in Star Wars who have played those characters and are trying to buy their naming rights and their identity so they can use those characters throughout. And it's already happened, obviously, because of James Earl Jones, voice of Darth Vader. Since he passed away, they bought his rights to his name. So Disney can use his voice as Darth Vader through all time, which is really cool. Nothing against
It's
that,
cool, but
but
man,
that means that there's another person that doesn't have the opportunity to show his or her craft as a voiceover actor and actress. And it might not be much because it's Darth Vader, but a very iconic role, but that's just a domino effect, I believe, not just in the film industry, but also just like in anything, marketing, advertising. I mean, even heck, even podcasters, there's going to be a point you see those YouTube short videos of like Joe Rogan's vouching for a product that they're just using his voice as AI, which is like, whoa, way
oh
easier
yeah,
than mine. I mean,
oh
you probably
yeah,
saw
I
one.
have
They're
seen
like,
those. Oh yeah, we're seeing plenty of
yeah.
them. It's
Yeah.
bad.
And
Everyone.
also, there are AI commercials up on YouTube Shorts about like you want to get fit,
Mhm.
and they're showing like a really fit guy and stuff like. Seriously, you can't afford that, but at the same time, it's cheaper. It's cheaper
It's so
to
much
then
cheaper.
it's all about money. That's unfortunately. So anyway, AI definitely is. It's an interesting thing. I'm more concerned about the kids that grow up and when they maybe 16 years from now, that it's a completely different world. How that interaction going to be? How is that communication going to be? That's something that is. because for us, we're kind of fine because we're adapting to it. But
Yeah,
when
right,
you
right.
grow up in that world, everything from your dialogue to your interactions are going to change because of it. That's just from my view.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. You know, um, Never, I want to transition into your current business development, right? Right now, you're building in public, right? Two blogs a week, LinkedIn thought leadership around loneliness, AI ethics, and social media dysfunction. What's the purpose of that content today? Audience
I just
building,
want people.
investor
I just want
credibility,
people
or
to. I
yeah,
just want
yeah,
people to know about the issues on hand. Social media,
yeah,
the issues with mental health and loneliness, especially social media, is not really widely known or widely advertised. And I think
yes,
if you don't know what the problems are, the problem is still there. It's just you don't
mhm,
not informed of it. And if you have the ability to keep bringing that voice up to let know that this is real, then you have to know. Like a good example is like the NFL when that concussion issue came in, no one knew
oh
about
yeah,
the
absolutely.
effects. That was
Hmm.
just like insane. That was, I don't know when that happened. I think it was like maybe 10 years ago, maybe give or take.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I mean, you see some of those massive hits prior to that. It was pretty, it was pretty cool to see some of those hits. And but
oh
then you
yeah, it's always
realize,
right.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then now you're like the doctor said, like, listen, concussion really affects because of these. And obviously there are athletes who have committed suicide because of the issues they dealt with after leaving the NFL. But again, it was a problem that no one really knew until someone spoke out about. And that was just kind of what I hope on my own. Just keep speaking it out, letting people know that it's important that people know, and just doing it something that on the spare time and want to make sure people get aware of that. So I try to hit two blogs a day, no, two blogs a week, just to get that voice out for hopefully people can keep evolving, understanding the issues that we're facing with social media and mental health.
Walk me through the business model, right? Is social subscription based, freemium with paid tiers? Is it partnership driven?
So it is a free tier. We do have subscriptions coming in for more the ability to connect with more people. We're really simplifying it down though. We're not throwing too much at people right now because we are currently developing it right now and bringing it out to public hopefully by this year. We're scattered and developing it right now. So what I mean by that is our team is we don't we don't have a branch operation. I have our teams in New York, Seattle, also in we have some developers in India. There's one in South America. So we're scattered pretty far, but we're communicating all through digital communication, obviously. So our business model right now is more just let's get the users on here. We do have an idea for not idea, but we have an implementation of a subscription service for those who want to be able to connect and make more friends rather than just one-on-one, the ability to continue making interactions. So that's all coming into zone. We also have a designed for opening and target marketing for businesses. One idea, the benefit for our structure is that we're allowing businesses to put advertisement structures, placement on our app. But because of social's unique structure, when people are marking their interests, they actually create a database of what their passions are. So when businesses have want to target particular type of people who are interested in a particular topic, they have a more higher yield of getting a more warm lead to connect. So it's a benefit on their end because they're getting the people that they want to reach. On our end, users who are already interested in the topic are getting ads that are feeling more affiliated with them. It's the same thing that Google does, but the problem with Google is that first off, it, when you go on Google, anyone first of all, anyone can use your computer or something like that, or maybe just one random time you're just typing a shoe. What's the shoe size for a Nike? Just some random stuff that popped in your
Right.
head.
Yeah. Hmm.
Obviously, Google is looking at that and saying, "Oh, you must really love shoes. Oh, you must really love this. So here are the ads that are
Yeah.
affiliated to this." Bro, I'm not interested. I had a thought bubble pop up in my head. So because of that, R makes it more of a premium target and open marketing structure. So that's kind of our
Nice.
structure to produce income.
That's cool. That's cool. If if you hit 1,000 users at launch, what metrics tell you the product actually works, right? Is it retention, daily active users, or is it friend match
Yeah,
success
so
rate?
that's a good question because to achieve success on any mobile app, in my belief, is it's not about getting users on, it's about keeping them staying on the platform. You can get any user to jump on an app anytime. If you put money into marketing, and you're going to get a large influx of people jumping on and seeing what the fuss is about. It's about keeping those people on there instead of leaving and moving on. So for us, when we know there's a higher percentage of time that they're acting in the structure, then we know we are integrating correctly. And again, because of our trial version of when you connect with someone, you have to talk to one another and go through that communication. That actually is the greatest incentive for us because it lets users, they have to be on the app to interact. They can't just say, hey, let's go to Meta and connect. Let's go to Facebook and connect. You have to have some type of interaction. And then we have restrictions, of course, you know. We don't want people to go on other websites. We don't want people to get out their phone numbers or emails because unfortunately, as much as there are good people in the world, there's a lot of bad apples, and we don't want
Right.
people to just jump on other sites or structures and get harmed in any way from catfishing to identity. So our AI system that we're integrating is making sure that, hey, listen, you're here to talk. You're not here to drag someone else out of the platform because we want to
Mm.
protect everyone on there as well.
No, that's huge. User identity, and that's so big. We spoke about it. This whole issue with Roblox. It's something
Roblox,
that I
man.
have taken genuine. It's bad. At first, I didn't really pay attention to it, but there's actually a podcast that I listen to a lot. His name's Sean Ryan, and he had a guest on his podcast. I keep forgetting the guy's name, but this guy specializes in, like, hacking and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and the good kind of hack, right? And he was talking about Roblox and how there's just so many predators on there, and they're it's so easy to hide, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
a free for all platform where a bunch of kids collect at once, and they're getting to a point
I
where
mean,
they're not even hiding.
I'll give you
It's
an
bad.
example right now. I just went on Google, typed in Roblox, went on the news section. Within the past 24 hours, man accused of urging a kid to kill herself through Roblox messages.
There you go.
That's
Like,
within 20.
it's crazy.
That's just one. There's like three. Yeah, it's for
It's so
me,
bad.
it's
It's
nails
so
on a
bad.
chalkboard.
Hmm.
It's just, I mean, there's not really restrictions on it, and it sucks because it's a platform that mainly kids use, and
Mainly kids, yeah.
because of that, you get essentially, I would consider these people monsters, where they are
100%.
using. I don't care if you're I don't care if you're like 18, I don't care if you're 20, and yeah, I don't care if you're even, oh, I'm just 30-year-old guy. I mean, people who are in that age, people who are in the 40s, 50s, 60s, just are predators to those kids who, unfortunately, when you're a kid, you don't know what the world's like. For most of us, for most
Yeah, you
kids,
know.
you think the world is full of sunshine and rainbows, if hopefully, depends on the parenting, but
Depends, yeah,
it's the
right.
truth. But it just, you are gullible to all this stuff because you just don't know the truth of what there's much as good in this world. Again, there are people out there that want to do harm to others, and the problem is you can't decipher which one's real. And someone saying hi to you on Roblox can be sound like a BFF, but it also can be a predator that's either trying to get money from you, kidnapping you. It's just a mess, man. It sucks.
Yes.
I feel bad for the
Yeah.
parents that are actually having kids that are going through that. And there's not real, I don't even see any restrictions other than taking a phone away, which is ironic because we're in an area where everyone needs to have a phone, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. And exactly.
Oh,
It
man.
goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's funny because, I want to talk about the whole phone thing, right? Because it's interesting. One of the things I think about, you take away a kid's phone, what problem are you actually solving long term? Because it's like you said, we're in an age now, we kind of need our phones. So it's like you take a kid's phone away. Maybe in the short term, you're solving an issue, but in the long term, I mean, there's so many different avenues around that too. They can easily circumvent that. They can take their friend's phone,
Oh,
if
man.
they
Yeah,
have
you take a
iPad
friend's
or
phone. Exactly. Because
yeah,
friends will just give them the phones. And it's like,
yeah,
here, you see this porn site? Well, I have access, so watch it. And then, your 8-year-old kid gets jumped into pornography. And it's just like,
yeah,
oh man, it's annoying because there's not really a solution because it relies on adults to be good parents and
basically, yeah,
not, but the truth is there are a large amount of adults who are not good parents and or
yeah,
don't have the responsibility to teach their kids uh what to do and not to. I mean, I know now, I think what they're doing is obviously you and I did not have this before, but they're giving kids like toy phones and stuff like that. And you assume that's like, oh, that's a cute toy, but I think it's more or less like learning, knowing something that you're gonna have when you're an adult. And it's kind of that's a weird thing. I never had like a toy phone for imaginary because usually it's just some was a cowboy or an Indian type of thing. But now it's like, here's your little fake toy when you're like 3 years old, pretend the button, but it's more like training you to get used to holding something on your hand. Unfortunately, it's weird, man. What,
Yeah,
like in the
it's so
40s,
it's
everyone was on newspapers, and now we're in this age where everyone's on their phone. So, eh, for the sake of kids, it's tough. It basically comes down to parenting. There's
yeah,
no,
100%.
and no matter what, how much laws, how much marketing you put into advertising, it is the parent responsibility, and there will be parents out there that will not do their job as a mom or a dad, and that's just it sucks. It's one of those
Yeah,
things that you just
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do anything about it. But
100%. And
what do you
it's
think they should do? What do you think with Roblox issue? What do you think is an appropriate way to fix an issue like this that obviously doesn't have a solution?
I don't speak on things I do not know. But what I will say is this, right? Ultimately, collectively as a society, it really comes down back to what you just said, parenting. I don't think there's
Mhm.
really any other way around it. And the reason why second what you say is because if you look at, like, I can only give myself as an example. I'll give myself as an example, even though I know more examples. But one of the things my mother used to do is she never really put extreme restrictions on things. She always made a realm of like, you can have this, but you got to earn it, right? So it's like,
Mm.
I'll give you a phone, but you gotta earn a phone. For example, like in seventh grade when everybody had smartphones, she gave me like a flip phone. She was like, I'll give you a phone, but you want a smartphone, you gotta earn it, right? So it's like, it was never just like, here, just have it. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
there was always like a I earned things, and then when I earned it, I appreciated it, and then that means I did everything in my ability to make sure I didn't get taken away. So I was, even though I had I grew up, I had some issues growing up, but overall, because my mother took that approach, it was like oh, listen, I can't be misbehaving with this device here, or I don't know when I'm gonna get it back. She'll take it away from me, then I won't be able to contact my friends. But it's just a form of parenting that worked for me, right? So, and I'm not saying that's the solution for everybody, but I do think it does just come down to how are you teaching your kids how to manage these devices? Because we just can't. We can't take them away completely. It wouldn't make sense. You're not actually solving the problem. So it's just a matter of equipping your kids with the proper discipline and making them realize what the power that they have. Instead of just totally taking away the power, it's empowering them to use that power correctly. You know what I mean? And that's not
Yeah.
easy to do. And I think that's why most parents kind of shy away from it because that's hard. You know what I mean? To teach a kid that responsibility. That's that's my
It
take.
also it's a good point because it's interesting because you can teach a kid everything, what's right or wrong, but that kid is going to be influenced by the environment, not just within your home, but outside by others.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that, and you have no control over that, especially when they go to school and they hang out with friends. Those friends have their own lives and their own issues, but parenting style and their parenting, and basically their parenting styles on those friends are now basically in a way going to be in some way communicating, influencing in some way with with your child that has their parenting skills. So you have, because obviously we're defined. I'm a big believer in this, is that we're defined who we are as individuals between the ages of 5 and 15. Between the ages of 5 and 15, I think that is the defining moment of you as a person. What your emphasis on what right and wrong is, what is your concept of work and the motivation, dedication, and all that. And when you're in that area, it's probably the most pivotal point for any parent to be that type of thing. I'm not gonna about because let me be clear, I'm not a parent, and I'm displaying my point of view on this. I believe anyone who's a parent has a higher right to justify if I'm wrong on it. by far, because it's stupid for like if I'm just saying this is the right way, but I'm just basing up my experiences of what my parenting, what my mom and dad taught me, and everything about what's right and wrong in the world, being a good person overall, was in those age range where it was. But unfortunately, you got kids that there will be kids that will have bad parents, and then they're going to follow the
Yeah.
philosophy of what their bad parents did to them to your kid. So yeah, I am curious what your thing is, because obviously when your kids go to that, I don't know what preschool age would be or kindergarten age is or first grade age. When would it be that time to discuss about phones? That, man, that's tough because it's like if you're in school, but it's like you also have to adapt to the world around you, and the environment with phones and the and the form of communication. I remember like in I think like in kindergarten, I broke my arm, and I was on the monkey bars, climbing, and I slipped, I missed one of them, and I
Wow.
remember the communication to get my dad to come pick me up was really bad because the landline at that school was not working or something like that. So it was weird because when I broke my arm, um, they didn't touch me, which made sense. But I was just sitting there in the sandbox for like an hour. No one was touching me, no one was moving, which makes sense because they don't want to be cause for legal action. And then my dad finally
Yeah.
came because no one was getting the landline or something like that. So issues like that, especially now we're dealing with issues with, unfortunately, school shootings too. That's just another reason for having cell phones. I don't know. I mean, for newly parents to upcoming parents, they have the final saying in this than people like me who are currently don't have a family in their own. But from my point of view, it definitely brings up a thin line on when is the limit to allow kids to have phones and when is the limit to making sure they have it in this day.
Yeah. It's a touchy subject. It really is. But I want to transition to some of the bottlenecks you're experiencing, right? You said the app isn't launched yet because it's not ready and you're not pushing hard on sign up. So what's the real constraint right now? Is it funding, product completion?
We're going through a funding campaign right now. It's doing great.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
pushing too much on marketing, just because we're getting national marketing. Like, no one's really, we don't need to buy, we don't need to sell advertising because people are just coming in organically.
Yeah.
So what makes it really great about it is that it helps us grow our customer base, but we put all our time and effort still developing it rather than putting money into advertising and marketing and structures like that. So it's something that, it's not really an issue right now. We're just going through a funding campaign as we speak. So we are definitely trying to expedite the process to help us out, just on the international level to help out all our developers developing it. And then hopefully by giving plans that we're at right now, it will be launched out this year. And we're really excited about it. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error. And just like any startup companies, as much nothing is smooth sailing. When Disneyland came and made, I heard that all the rides shut down the first day. So it's kind of one of those things where you just have to pick yourself up and keep working. So that's what we're doing. And that's what our goal right now is, finalizing these funding campaigns that we're into right now. And then after that, we'll expedite the process and be able to get this out launched with some marketing campaigns so we can get more people to jump on when it comes out already.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
If
pretty,
you look ahead
but
at 12 to 24 months from now, right? What does winning look like, right? Is it a successful public launch, a funded round, a retention metric that proves real friendship form? What is it?
my success would be, I mentioned in the beginning of this conversation, someone from New Zealand that connects with someone in North Dakota because they have the same interest in
Yeah,
sailing. If that can happen, that is a success because it means that you have it. It first off, it illustrates that the problem is not just in the area that I live in or the community I live, but on a global aspect. Which loneliness affects everyone, so I'm not really too much on that. But it also shows that the system itself works perfectly. And I'm putting a thin line on the word perfectly because everything does. There's no such thing as perfection, but the idea of having someone to make friends that in a way that is able to protect your privacy, to be able to be comfortable with, be able to be in a safe environment. If that's done correctly and have that connection happen, then I would consider that a very perfect success for it.
awesome. If social loads works at scale, what changes in the broader social media ecosystem?
That's a good question. I don't. This is an untapped market we're in for friendship platforms. So I'm hoping. I mean, if I really want to be truthful, I hope we're the only one, and I hope we, hope no other competitor
Yeah,
touches us, and we're the
yeah, yeah,
ultimate dominant dog, and we rule the
yeah,
world. And
right. Of course.
but unfortunately, that's not what reality is. There is
Yeah.
benefit for companies to start building competitions because when you have companies start building competitions, it emphasizes the problem more and it
Hmm.
helps people be more entitled to go and find a solution fits for it. I don't know. I don't remember like the first dating platform on an app came to be. I don't know what that was, but they were the first of the first. And now you go on an app store, there are 300
So
million
many,
different apps of datings,
so
which
many.
is it's annoying because most of them are bots, but when you are the original creator, there is a sense of pride when you know that there was a problem that you saw first and you were able to expedite to now change the ecosystem of dating itself because that's just what it is. And that's what I hope that we do is that I hope that we bring in more competitors, really. I just hope they don't do good as enough compared to us. I just want them to help us out. But
Yeah,
it
right.
does help spread when you are able to spread the problem more and get informed people more, then that just is such a weight loaded off you when you because again, it goes back. The biggest issue we're dealing with is telling people there are social media platforms, there are dating platforms, but there are not many friendship platforms. And if we are able to let other competitors tell everyone, that just helps us out a lot.
That's huge.
Mm.
Well, Nevin, this has been great. Before we wrap up, where should people go if they want to follow Social Load or your work on loneliness and AI ethics?
Well, we're up on LinkedIn. We're mainly on our website, social.com. Pretty straightforward with that. We do have a blog system up there that everyone can just view. I try to post 2 weeks, sometimes maybe once a week if I'm busy. But regardless, we keep posting stuff up there. There's a sign up on there as well. You're welcome to sign up the wait list for anyone's interested. All we just need is an email address. We don't need phone numbers. We don't need your address. We don't need a photo ID. Just literally, if you want to make a random email address, go crazy, but yeah, just an email address. So when it's ready, we can send it to you. We will send it to those people first, actually, the invites to the platform for us. And then overall, that's kind of where our form of communication is because we're still developing it. And yeah, that's just the gist of everything we're after and what we're doing. And knock on wood, if all the stars align correctly, we will be able to bring
Yes,
something out here that might help uh, the world of communication for the better.
absolutely. Nevin, again, thank you. I appreciate the level of honesty you brought to this conversation. And for those listening, you heard where to find them. This has been another episode of The Executive Edge. I'm your host, Kamel Holmes. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.